Hi, good morning and welcome back to my channel. My name is Natalie and the channel name is So Stitch So Nat. I'll put the details on screen because there's underscores in there. Hello, welcome back. It's Friday the 11th of November. It's Remembrance Day here in the UK. So we've got the poppies are out in full force today. And as jumping in with a little bit of life. My boys are in like beavers and cubs, so the scouting organisation, and they'll be marching up to the church on Sunday. And of course I'll be in attendance as well. And it is something that's important, lest we forget. I think you'll see from my plans I've got my stitch back out that I started last year. Unfortunately I only made a tiny bit of progress on it. I thought I'd jump on and just do a quick Flosstube. Welcome to any new subscribers as well. If you like what you see, like and subscribe. Sorry, I'm all over the place though. Not been well the last couple of days, and if there's any cuts it's probably because I've had a coughing fit. So yeah, the main reason for recording today was I've had a big finish and just want to show you guys. I know there's one lovely subscriber that always comments that was keen to see it as well. You know who you are. So here it is. And this is Meditation Garden by Joan Hicks Creates. I think it was about, let me just check that number. Yeah, 12,600 stitches nearly. I did my own conversion on this. Some of them are DMC alternative. Jan called for Mrs. Ada's silks, but I couldn't afford to get those. So I've done a mixture of weeks. I think there's one classic colour work in there and the rest are DMC. Were I to do it again I might have picked slightly different because some of the variegation doesn't come through, especially like the dark green of the tree. And the other tree here, which I think is WDW Kentucky Bluegrass. But I will put in the details below what I've used and on an Instagram post as well. It's stitched on a 25 count Lugana in vintage sand, and it was, yeah, I'm very tight on the border, so hopefully it should be alright framing. So you can see I've only got up to the edge of there. I think that's the tightest side. Oh no, this side. Oops. So it's literally the stitching ends and then that's it. So I'm probably going to have to leave this piece of fabric on for framing as well. I might re-sew it, I'm not sure. Depends how we get on with the framing. And this is a Christmas present from my mother-in-law. She had a look through my stash last Christmas and picked it out, and I want to stitch it anyway. Why do we get all these patterns? Because we want to stitch them. So yeah, so I'm thinking like a wood frame, maybe a dark wood frame, but I haven't had a look yet for it or measured it up. I don't think it will be a standard size, so I think it might have to be, I think Lauren on Possibilities spoke about Frames Express. Might have to look back. Or it's like that kind of thing, sort of like ordering to size. I don't think I'll be able to have the mount on it because of how close it is to the edge. So that is my plan for that. I started it mid-January and finished it 2 days ago. Been working on lots of other things since then. It wouldn't have taken that long if I hadn't. So I've only worked on 2 other whips, and I've only got 3 pieces of haul to show this month. This it's 2 weeks since my last Flosstube, so it's not too bad. Yeah, Stitch from Stash is upon me, and it's making me think as well, which is good, rather than just, oh yeah, I like that, let's just get it. I'm contemplating what I'm buying, and you'll see that from what I've bought. Something I've been looking at for a long time and finally said, yeah, I want that. So my next stitch, I realised after the last video that I'd done the band where my husband's name goes. Oops. Along here there's a band that goes either side, top and bottom, which is in silver. Now that should have been in gold. So my plan is to carry on stitching everything else, because there's random stitches in here and then dotted around the lower half. If I show you what it looks like. So this might be a bit glary as everything falls out the bottom of the bag. So that's what it should look like. You can't see under here, but most of that is done. Sorry. I've got to finish off the polar bear's head, the beading and the random silver stitches, and finish off his beard. Oh yeah, there's one more bit of sack there as well. I've not put any gold thread into his cloak yet, so I need to do that as well. So yeah, progressing. Whether I get to before Christmas, I'm not sure, but it is my main focus piece from now until then. Also got a shopping cart set up for some finishing fabric for this and for my stocking as well, which just sat in my finishes box at the minute. So yeah, just need to do that. Yeah, I've put the beads on up here, so as I move back down I won't be able to put that clip back on, I don't think, which is fine. I think it's got enough tension in it to hold it. It's only be one side that will be unclipped, and I can always go back to the hoop, but I can't. I can stitch in hand a little bit, so some things I do are stitched in hand, especially if they're small. So yeah, that's the main plan. The other whip I literally worked on last night and this morning before recording this was just to bring my temperature cell up to date, which is Temperature Typography by Stitching Mummy, and I'm using the varied colourway. You can see it's got a lot colder, although we're not into the blues yet, but we're almost there. So that's as of last night we're up to. Starting to think about how I want to finish this. I think I definitely want to put my initials and the year down here maybe. But I don't, not a project bag, not a pillow. I could frame it, or I did think about using it as a cover for like a project book, if I've got some stitches from this year to put in there. I think most of the things, now there are a couple of things I would put in there, so I could do that as an option. I haven't used a big project book that I showed last time. I literally got it out last night and took it downstairs to start thinking about what I want on what page and how to place it. So that kind of brings us into plans. So today I pulled out my Always Remember, and I think last time I had this out I said I'm not sure about the eagles and the American flag, whether I might swap some of those out, because here in the UK we all say lest we forget. Sorry if it's zips and rattling against the board, let me just put that down. So this is where I got to last time I had it out. You can see I changed the colour of the fabric as well. I think it's a 32 cal Belfast linen in pale blue. There's no mottling. There's no mottling or anything. And it won't take the whole piece of this fabric either. It's just what I cut off from when I words. I would say it's left over, but it's not really. From the sampler book, my aim slipped far away. I want to do one of those a month, but I've missed that completely. So that might be a goal for next year, which I'm starting to think about what goals I'm going to do next year. I think I mentioned last time I want to get the number of whips down, just because of storage and wanting finishes, and there's a whole thing for it. Yes, I feel like I'm slowly taking over, which is not good, but I don't have a stitchy room unfortunately, so my expanding, I think I've got 3, like the craft, like the IKEA cube unit things. I think I've got 3 of those just with whips in at the minute, so I can get that down, that would be great. And then in terms of haul, so my poppy patch cottage garden needle thread came in. Look at the colours on that. That should have been a summer pack really, shouldn't it? Really bright and lovely. Daydream, Sprinkle, Olive, Rosaline and Rainbow I think are the colours this month. They did put a note in saying that's the end of the thread club for now, but they're starting a new one in January with new threads, so I'm going to jump on board for that. But that's from Poppy Patch here in the UK. I'll put their details below. Great service, can't fault them. Really easy to communicate with. The other 2 are PDF patterns. So I bought Puntini Stitching, I think it's called, if not it's appearing. So I like this when it came out. I think it was Expo. It was one of the markets, and I do own another Puntini, but I've never stitched one. But I like this one. Of course, the sentiment is very true. And I think I'll probably turn it into either a project, like a notions bag or something like that, I think. Depends what size it comes out when it's finished. I've not looked at the dimensions or anything yet. And the other one was to make a Tiger Lily Designs, and it's to make like a project keeper, so I will show that here. My plan is to do the one with the floss bobbin holder down the side and the project like case bag the other side, but I've not got up the nerve to stitch that yet, and I also need a couple of bits before I can start that as well. So that's going to form part of the order that I put in, because Stitch from Stash, Stitch from Stash, you get credits for every finish, and because that was quite a big finish and it had variegated threads, I've got like a £40 credit. So my plan is to use that plus what I had left over this month, just to get some finishing bits, which I include within it because I've got too much fabric as well, in terms of finishing fabric that I don't finish anything with. I did have a go at making some project bags last week. They were a bit of a disaster because I haven't practiced for a long time, and then I pulled out wadding and not fusible fleece. Like, I managed to get the zip on fine, managed to get the vinyl on fine. It was just when I came to like sandwich it all together, the quilting was a bit of a disaster on one of them, and the binding, because I tried to do the self-binding thing again, and I seem to remember I worked out that was easier than sewing on the binding and then folding it over, just do it self-binding. So yeah, I will practice again. Also, I wanted to sew one that would be big enough for the Q-snap that I've got, that I'm really enjoying with the Christmas one. Yeah, mismeasured. It was a really fun day. I was going to finish a couple of other things as well, but yeah, I think I was just losing. I was a bit frustrated by the end of it, so yeah, decided not to get the sewing machine out today and come and chat to you guys instead. What I will say about Tiger Lily Designs is the video is very good, comprehensive, so hopefully it should be an achievable goal. Just need to make sure I've got all the right things to do it, and measure twice, cut once. Yeah. I haven't really watched much Flosstube the last week because I've binge watched The Crown since it came out on Wednesday. Yes, I watched them all already. It's funny because I'm not really a royal follower, but really got into The Crown. I find it quite interesting. Some of the things, how I remember it, is not necessarily the way it is. But that could be just time. So I won't give any spoilers. That's it really. I don't think I've got anything else to say. I have been watching Sweet Magnolias on Netflix, and I have not made any progress on the Netflix Stitch sale. I did start coming up with plans, but I've not sort of planned anything out in terms of the boxes that I want to put in there that weren't included, but they will come. Like I say, plan on getting the amount of whips down. So yeah, I think that's it, because I'm rambling and stumbling. If you like what you've seen, like and subscribe. My videos are normally got a bit more content, but usually under an hour, unless it's a whip parade. So thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Stay well.